Okay, recording started. Today's class is Cadd 214 MEP on October 5th, Monday, October 5th. Today what we're going to be doing is going over just some general information from the midterm that we just did, and we're going to just kick off our next project. We'll go over some general information first off. This is in your files. This is just a breakdown of what's left of the class. You can review this, but I just want to kind of bring this to everybody's attention. For the next couple of weeks, for the next 2.5 weeks, we're going to be doing electrical in class. And then also the week 10, October 19th, that's also going to be plumbing as well. So it's electrical and plumbing. So both electrical and plumbing have 2.5 weeks each. After that, we're going to be strictly working with our final project. Final project, you will get a model, much like you've received a model so far on the projects that we've done. And then everyone will work independently to create your own HVAC system, electrical system, and plumbing system within that model. And that will be due on December 1st. So that's a good outline about what the rest of the semester is going to look like. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into electrical today. If we want to go to Canvas and go to Files, all the files that you need are going to be under Fall 2020 MEP. Under this new, I don't know why they're showing 2 files for electrical, but under the new electrical file, I can go double back and check on that. Okay, that's not. I can delete that one. So this one right here, electrical. So this is all the information that we'll be going over today and all the information that you'll need to read before class for next week. First thing on there is this PowerPoint presentation that you can read through. We're going to go ahead and go through some general information on that stuff that I want you to pay attention to when you're reading through it. But this does need to be finished for next class. So if you just flip through it real quick, it just gives you some general information on what we're going to be covering in class, such as switches, outlets. This also works in conjunction with this other sheet from the file, which gives you an example of what the electrical plan is going to look like. So you can see that some of the stuff that's referenced on this PowerPoint is also referenced within this floor plan, and also the plan legend, which we'll be creating as well. So this is just a general idea. This was done in Cadd, actually, not in Revit. So this is what an old one will look like, but it still gives you a general idea of what we're going to be creating through adding outlets, adding lighting, adding switches. We'll also learn how to calculate lighting for the different rooms. And then you'll be laying out switches and things like that. So this is basically a little snapshot of what we'll be doing in class. Let's jump back to the PowerPoint. So you can see they have other receptacles here, the ones that we'll be using. Here's a duplicate receptacle, duplex receptacle, much like little sockets that you put in. Then also a ground fault interrupt socket, which is what you usually find in the bathroom. We'll be using that as well. Lighting, we'll be going over different types of lighting that we'll be using. Most people are using CFLs now, compact fluorescent lights. There'll be a few special lighting, and we'll talk about that, and then also recessed lights. Read for this is important. This is going to talk about fixture placement. If you ask anybody who's been in an older house, and we're trying to accommodate our newer conveniences to it, you'll notice that a lot of people are missing, they'll be saying that, you know, I need an outlet right here, you know. So one of the things that you want to think about when you're laying out your electrical plan is where you want all your electrical lights to be, and things like that. So, and we'll talk about that a little bit more next class after you read through all this stuff. Some of this information we'll be using. This is a commercial building, so we're not really going to have circulating fans, but if there was a place that we needed them, you have your different symbols right here. Once again, reading through the placement of switches, placement of outlets. I mean, nowadays we can't have enough outlets with all the smartphones and things. More information about placements of lights. So you can see that there's a lot of good general information on here and how to lay out your lights and things like this. So I do want you to read through the rest of this PowerPoint for class next week. So when we get started, you have that material already in your head. I don't want to read through this now. It's going to be bad enough that y'all are reading through it. I don't want you to fall asleep with me reading it right now. But this is just stuff that I do want you to read through so you're aware of when we start class. Oops. When we start the actual project. And here's some more breakdowns of examples so you can see through those. These are exterior lights and then the switches. Some other examples here as well so you can just get an idea. So this is a switch. It's a singular switch and it goes to this light right here. So read through that. Write down any questions that you have, and then we'll review this again on Wednesday. So that's, you have electrical examples and symbols, electrical plans and architectural applications, which is the PowerPoint, and then this last one, which is lighting calculations. Let's go ahead and open that one up. Now in this document, we're going to actually calculate the amount of light that's going to be needed within a room. There's many different ways that you can calculate different lights options. This one is being used basically for residential. We are going to be doing commercial, so I'll see if I can find a commercial one for you, but we can still use the general calculations in order to create the work that we need to add our lights in here. But once again, this is kind of very dry material. I do want you to read through this as well and get a basic understanding of it before we actually go into calculations next class. So basically your assignment for Wednesday is a lot of reading. If you can read through, review this one, very high level information on that. Read the lighting calculations and read the PowerPoint. And then when we come back on Wednesday, we're going to start applying this information. And we'll be laying that out. It's, I haven't decided yet if it's going to be in the same model that we put our ductwork in, or if I'm going to start a different one, but we'll have that set for Wednesday. So that's basically the information for class today. And I will see y'all Wednesday. Is there any questions before we break right now? Okay, go ahead and use this time to read that stuff, read up on that, and then I'll see you on Wednesday and we'll get started with the drawings at that time.
Bye.
All right, bye. I think it's somebody. Hey, Francesca, are you still on? Did you have a question?